All right, so this flashlight's been out for a little bit, but I haven't reviewed it yet, so let's go. This is the SK03 from Loop Gear. Let's check it out. And this is everything the SK03 comes with. I'll give you guys a nice look at the box, product shot in the front, and I should mention, this is the Pro version. So you can see right up there, it says Armor Pro, and I'll show you what that means in just a bit. It comes with a USB-A to USB-C charging cable, a really unusual lanyard here. You can see that. I don't really see these too often, so that's pretty neat. It also comes with 4 colored tubes right here that wrap around the body of the flashlight because there are LED side lights right there, a blue, a red, sort of a gray diffusion, and an orange, but this looks yellow when it's on those lights. It also comes with a little screwdriver here, so that's nice that they threw that in. It's a couple spare O-rings. Inside here is the user manual, and this right here is the magnetic bracket that comes with the Pro version. And if I give you a close-up of the SK03 here, you can see it does have a split ring removable 2-way pocket clip that's deep carry, and inside it comes with a rechargeable 14500 battery. So let's move all of this off to the side here, and I'll give you guys another close-up of the SK03. And while you guys are checking this out, let's talk about some of the features. All right, so the SK03 has a maximum output of 1000 lumens, a max throwing distance of 120 meters, a max intensity of 3600 candela, and an insane max runtime of 2 years. It has 10 total lighting modes, including strobe, SOS, and beacon, and everything is controlled with a metal tail switch. But what makes the SK03 so cool are its dual light sources. The main out-the-front light that's capable of the 1000 lumens, but it also has these side LEDs that really come in handy. The body here is made from aluminum and it has a dust and waterproof rating of IP65. The 6 means it's completely dust-proof, and the 5 means it can withstand low-powered jets from any direction from a 6.3 millimeter nozzle. And it has a 1 meter impact resistance. All right, let's talk dimensions. It has a length of 3.01 inches and a body diameter of 0.85 inches. And let's weigh this bad boy, plop it on the scale. Comes in at 2.5 ounces and in grams. That's 72 grams, and I am weighing it with the 14500 battery inside and the pocket clip. And the SK03 is just a cool flashlight. When talking about everyday carry flashlights, it's almost perfect for me. Just a small compact size, just right over 3 inches in length and not even 1 inch in diameter. It weighs 2.5 ounces with the battery inside, a deep carry pocket clip, and you can see that's almost all the way deep carry there. And it's a 2-way pocket clip, so if you want to use this on your hat as a headlamp, you can do that as well. So as an everyday carry flashlight, for me, it's almost perfect. It's checking all of the boxes, but there are some negatives here, and I'll talk about that throughout this video. So first, let's talk about the emitter here. It's available in 2 different emitter versions. There's a 4000 Kelvin Nichia 519A. That's about $3 more if you guys want to go with that version. And the version that I have right here, a 6500 Kelvin Philips LED. So that 6500 Kelvin emitter is going to give you a nice white light. If you want something a little bit warmer, go with the Nichia 519A. But that Nichia should give you just slightly less lumens than the Philips version here. And while I'm here at the head, I'll try to give you a close-up of that lens. You can see it is a diffuse lens. So that's going to be responsible for a nice evenly spread beam profile. But that diffusion isn't too aggressive, and you'll see what this looks like when I take this out and do the beam test a little bit later on in this video. I already talked about the pocket clip. It is a split ring removable pocket clip. I really like this. The only thing I wish was that it had a little bit more tension right here. It's fine, but I just wish there was a little bit more tension on that clip. And if you guys were wondering where this lanyard goes, it just gets threaded right through that little hole right at the top of that pocket clip. And this body is just really cool looking. Check that out. I just really like the aesthetics of the SK03 here. I do have the gray aluminum version. It's also available in a bunch of different colors, but I sort of like this gray version here. You can see it's a gray aluminum body, and then towards the head, it's a shiny piano black. I really like the looks here. And it also has a black metal tail switch. It says Loop on there, so a little bit of branding right there at the tail switch, but it feels nice. So everything here feels pretty high quality. It's not a clicky tail switch, but there is a little bit of feedback when you press it. I'm not sure if you guys can hear that. It's not exactly a click, but there is a little bit of feedback when you press that button down. But what I really like about the SK03 is what Loop Gear calls their electric tritium tube. You can see the LEDs that wrap around the body right there. It makes this a very functional flashlight, especially for everyday carry. And I'll show you what that looks like real quick. Just check that out. Just a nice soft glow that wraps around the flashlight. And it also comes with these color tubes here. So I like the fact that it comes with these color tubes. I mean, check this out. They just snap right on. Let me make sure I'm doing this right. Let me hold it this way. These basically just snap right on like that. And you can see the red, that looks really, really nice. I like the red. And this orange right here, it looks orange, but when you snap it on, it sort of gives it a yellow color right there. So check that out. Some really nice, bright yellow. The blue is awesome. And this gray, it doesn't really look gray when it's on the flashlight. It looks more of a white diffused filter right here. So check that out. So see, doesn't really turn gray or anything like that. It just diffuses that white light. But the fact that it has these wraparound LEDs make this a really functional flashlight for me. Since you can basically stand it in either direction, you can tail stand it or head stand it like this, kill the lights, and you can see you can still have this nice little soft light while you're trying to work. So you can see the possibilities. The only thing is this tail switch right here isn't magnetized. But if you go with the Pro version, it does come with this magnetic bracket. I'll show you how this works. This is magnetized. You just have to unscrew the tail cap, take off this pocket clip, and fit that on there, and then you have this cool little magnetic bracket where you can mount this anywhere. Check this out. There's a little locking knob right here. So right now it's locked, but if you twist it just once like that, unlocks the knife and bottle opener right there. I said knife, but as of right now, it's probably more of just a box opener because it's not very sharp straight from the factory. It looks like it's sharp, but it's not. It could stand a little bit of sharpening, and I might just do that a little bit later on to make this just a little bit sharper. But still, it's just a really cool feature to have in this magnetic bracket. Just twist that and that's locked in. So give me a second. I'm going to plop this on the flashlight. I'll be right back.
The next day.
And there we go. So that's what the SK03 looks like with the magnetic bracket attached to it. And let me bring in something metal so I can show you what this looks like when it's attached to something. Just like that. Attach it to anything metal and you can mount this basically anywhere. So I'll open up the bracket here, but I'm going to take it off the knife so I don't cut myself. So this is how that works. When it's attached to something metal, you can just open it up like this. It actually goes straight up or even behind, but you can see you can basically just position this any way you want to. So if you have the SK03 and we're sort of missing the fact that this tail switch wasn't magnetized, you guys might want to get the Pro version here with this magnetic mounting bracket. And then going back to the flashlight itself, if I put this on turbo right there, that's the 1000 lumens, but check this out. Let me let it run for a couple seconds. If I turn it off, you can see inside there's a little blue glow and it lasts a long time. I was pretty impressed with that because that's not near the head. That's not near the head or the lens at all. It's a little bit deeper in, but that's just a really cool feature right here. If you have this flashlight on and if you put it down in the dark and you want to see where you put it, you can just follow this little glow. I like that. And before I go over the UI, let's take a look at that included 14500 rechargeable battery. You can see it's Loop branded and it is a 3.6 volt? Yeah, it's a 3.6 volt, 920 milliamp hour, 14500. And there's no way to charge the battery on the body here. There is no USB-C port on the body, but it's right here on the battery itself. And when you plug it in, you can see it glows red when it's charging, and when it's fully charged, it glows blue. And regarding the springs, the tail you can see does have a spring, but inside of the body there is no spring. There's just a terminal down there. So a single spring system for that battery, which is fine. This isn't a tactical style flashlight. I'm not going to worry if the lighting output gets interrupted, if this gets jostled or anything like that. So that's not bad. I'm good with a single spring here. And when I said I'll go over the UI next, I lied. Let's go over the lumens and runtime first. So I'll pop up on the screen right now all the lumens and runtime. So low is 7 lumens, has a runtime of 50 hours. Mid to sweet spot, 70 lumens, has a runtime of 10 hours, which isn't bad. I sort of wish that mid was a little bit higher, maybe close to 100 lumens, but it is what it is. High is 220 lumens, has a runtime of 2 hours and 35 minutes. And then turbo 1000 lumens has a runtime of 30 seconds, and then it steps down over a 2.5 hour period to 220 lumens. And I just want to say I appreciate Loop Gear putting in that it only lasts 30 seconds at 1000 lumens and then steps down to 220. Usually you don't see that. So thanks for being upfront and honest about the 1000 lumen turbo runtime here. And then you can see the output of the side light. High is 80 lumens, low is 10 lumens, beacon is 10 lumens, and micro is where you get that 2-year runtime. I didn't show you micro yet. I'll go over that when I talk about the UI for real this time. But regarding the mode spacing, I sort of wish there was a moonlight mode at 1 lumen, and I sort of wish mid was closer to 100 lumens. So Loop Gear, if you guys ever come out with a version 2, that's sort of what I want to see, a 1 lumen moonlight mode and a 100 lumen medium mode. And then strobe, a full 1000 lumens on that strobe light, which is really nice. If you guys have to use that in a defensive situation, it's pretty bright. But the beacon and SOS aren't as bright. I just don't see any information here about the lumen output of that SOS and beacon. And I'll show you guys how dim that SOS and beacon is right now when I go over the UI. So the single tail switch right here, a short press on and a short press off. Short press it on again and press and hold to cycle through the 3 cyclable brightness levels, low, medium, high, double click for turbo. And now strobe warning, triple click for strobe right there, and then press and hold right there for, was that SOS? But you can see just how dim that is compared to that bright strobe. And then press and hold again for beacon. And once again, you can see just how dim that beacon is. I mean, I don't really like a dim beacon or SOS. I want to see those emergency modes at the maximum level. If nobody can see my SOS or beacon, what's the point? It also has a mode memory. So if I turn it on and go to medium, turn it off, if I put it back on, it goes right back to medium. And it has a button press lockout. What you have to do is press the button 8 times to lock it out and then 8 more times to unlock it. Now let's talk about the side LEDs. What you want to do is press and hold that tail switch for about a second and it activates that side light. Press and hold again to cycle through the different levels here. So that's beacon, press and hold again, and that is low. And to reach that 2-year runtime micro level, turn it off, and what you want to do is press the tail switch 5 times really quickly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And yeah, it's on. So let me turn these lights off again so you guys can see. Look at that. So that is the micro, so my camera's having a hard time picking that up. That is the micro level in the side light. It's extremely dim. That's why it's capable of a 2-year runtime. But I really like this because if I'm using this at night, I can just put this in micro, put this down, and I can easily find it in the pitch black with that extremely dim light. And there's a 2-year runtime with that. So that is a pretty useful feature here. I'm thinking of a scenario where I'm camping at night and I'm in my tent sleeping and I just want to have this little dim light over next to me. So if I have to get up in the middle of the night, I can easily find my flashlight because of these little dim LED lights here. So you can see how that would be useful. I think that's a really nice feature. And to turn off the micro feature, just press the button 5 times again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. It's turn off. Now, there's one weird thing that I discovered while I was messing around with this. Of course, because it comes with a 14500 battery, it can take just normal AA batteries here. So I have a 1.5 volt Duracell AA battery and a 1.5 volt Energizer Max AA battery. But when I was testing these out, let me just put the Energizer in. When I was going over the flashlight and checking out to make sure everything was legit, you can see everything seems to work. Double press for turbo, that's fine. But when I went to turn on the side lights, everything was good, but the micro version, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the micro feature does not work with these 1.5 volt AA batteries. And I've tested that with multiple AA batteries, brand new batteries, and if it's able to work in turbo, as you can see, it should be able to activate the micro feature. But check this out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and nothing at all. Those lights are not on. But if I put in the 14500, 3.6 volt 14500, and activate the micro again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and there you go. So it is activated. It's having a hard time focusing right there, but that is on. So just be aware, if you want to use that micro feature on these side lights, it won't work with normal AA batteries. All right, now it's time for my turbo test. I'm not doing a heat test this time because the SK03 is only a maximum of 1000 lumens and this body doesn't get hot at all. So I'm skipping the heat test this time. So I let the flashlight run for about 2 minutes on turbo. And I'll put on the screen right now when it started stepping down from turbo and when it ended that step down. And just for the heck of it, I also did a 3-minute high test as well. And if there was any step down from high within those 3 minutes, I'll put that on the screen right now as well. So now it's time for the beam demonstration. And yeah, guys, it's December and I live near Buffalo. So this is what we're dealing with right now. I really hate doing beam tests in the snow, but I have no other choice. So I just have to do it. So one press on, let's go right to low. And there is the 7 lumen low, and that is what it is. Nothing too special here, but let's go to the 70 lumen mid. And this is where I spend most of my time, is in mid and medium. I call it the sweet spot. And I'm looking around for the deer that usually live back here. I don't see anybody. Nobody around. That's fine. Am I hitting that tree? Barely kissing that tree. And if it's windy right now, hold on. Let me push that little thing in. If it's windy or if you're hearing a lot of noise, I apologize. It's just really windy and cold right now. I have a tarp right here on my picnic bench, and that's probably making a lot of noise. But let's go to high right there. So now I'm definitely kissing that tree, and I'll put up the distance between me and that tree. And then me and the barn right there. Not really sure if I'm hitting that barn. But in the snow right there, you can see pretty nice, diffused, evenly spread beam profile. Man, sorry about that. But you can see a slight hot spot right there, dead center. It's not exactly defined because of that diffused lens, but I like this beam profile here. I don't always need a Chrispy hot spot in my flashlights, especially my everyday carry flashlights. I'll save those for my tactical flashlights. But let's go to turbo, double click, and we're going to get about 30 seconds here. Now I'm definitely hitting that tree. 120 meters to throw. Hitting that barn, absolutely. And once again, guys, like I said, I apologize for the snow, but I have so many videos I have to get done, and not everybody lives in sunny California. Most of you guys live where you have weather, kind of like me. So if you guys were wondering what this looks like in the snow, now you see. All right, so there you go. There's turbo. So let me turn that off, and let's press it. Oh, first of all, look at that. Look how nice and bright this is. And there's the micro. I have that micro on with the red filter. And you guys can see what I'm talking about. That is really cool. And I wanted to put the red on because I think out of all the filters, the red is going to be the most useful. So press and hold. Turn that on. Wow. So there you go. So it's, what is it? 80 lumens. 80 lumen side light right there. Press and hold again. That's going to go to beacon. Very cool. I love that glow right there. I love it. And then press and hold again. And there is the low side light. But let's get it back to that high. That is nice. That is pretty cool. So let me just do one thing here. I'm going to put this, I'm going to turn this off. And then let me see, where can I put this? Maybe put it right there. Oh, sorry, you guys can't even see. So if let me walk back here a little bit. And yeah, I can see it. I can definitely see that red glow. See that right there? So this is my point about being in maybe a tent when it's dark and just having this little micro mode on. So if I have to get up in the middle of the night when it's pitch black, you're going to be able to see this, and that barely touches the battery life, even with a AA or 14500 battery in there. Sorry, I said AA, but that micro mode won't work with a AA battery. It has to be this 14500, but you guys know what I'm talking about. It's just a really, really cool feature. And now my hands are frozen. You think I learned to wear gloves after doing this for about 6 years living where I live. But anyways, let's talk about some of the pros and cons of the SK03 from Loop Gear here. So let's start with the pros. First off, I love that it takes any normal AA battery. So any common AA battery will work here if your normal 14500 battery that it ships with runs out. Also, I really like the two-way deep carry pocket clip right here. If you want to put it on your hat and wear it as a little headlamp, you can do that. I love the size, just over 3 inches. So this is perfect for everyday carry. At least the size is perfect for everyday carry for me. 1000 lumens, even though you're only getting about 30 seconds of turbo, that 1000 lumens is plenty bright. I really like these side LED lights here. 80 lumens is really bright for these side lights. Plus the fact that it comes with these colored filters here, I think the red one is really useful. And that micro mode with that 2-year runtime is really, really cool. And last but not least, it comes with a 5-year warranty. So I'm definitely putting that in the pro category. And I said last but not least, but I want to also include, if you guys go with the pro version, this magnetic mounting bracket with the little blade in there with the bottle opener. If you need your flashlight to mount to anything, I would definitely go with this pro version. All right, now let's talk about some of the cons, and I'm going to put its IP rating as a con. Not the 6, completely dustproof is great, but the 5 is what I'm concerned with. The 5 means it can withstand low pressure water jets hitting it from any direction, but if I'm carrying this every day, I need this to be submersible. So only having a 5 for waterproof is good if you get caught in a rainstorm, but if this drops in a pool of water, it's dead. Next, I think I'll put the way you have to change the side lights in the negative category. Meaning if you have to press and hold this for a second and turn it on like that, and then press and hold again and then wait and then let it go. I don't really think that's the most intuitive way to have this UI set up. I think that once it's on, just press and hold and have it cycle through all the different modes. It's just a little goofy where you have to press and hold, let it go, press and hold, let it go, press and hold, let it go. You guys see what I'm saying. Also, I really like that they give us colored filters for these side lights, but I think that some RGB lights in here would be really, really useful. Make these side lights RGB and ditch these filters, then we don't have to worry about carrying these filters around with us. Next, the fact that the micro side light mode doesn't work if you use normal AA batteries. I have to put that in the negatives category. The next negative is there's no moonlight mode. No 1 lumen moonlight, just the lowest mode is 7 lumens. So I sort of wish there was a moonlight mode here, especially for a small, compact, everyday carry light. And my last negative is the really dim SOS and beacon modes. The emergency modes need to be a little bit brighter than what this is. So if I'm stuck and need that beacon or SOS, no one's going to be able to see it. They're just that dim. And now let's talk about the price. The normal SK03 is $59.99, so under 60 bucks for the SK03, which I think is a pretty good deal. If you want to go with the Pro version with the magnetic mounting bracket right here with the knife and everything inside, it's $89.99. So $30 more if you want the magnetic bracket, which I think is a pretty steep upgrade. I really like this mounting bracket. I think it's really useful, but $30 more, I mean... But if you decide not to go with the mounting bracket, I think this is a really great light at 60 bucks. All right, guys, that's pretty much it for this video. What do you think of the Loop Gear SK03? If you want to check this out for yourself, I will have links down below in my description box. But if you did enjoy this video, please give me that thumbs up. Please subscribe and go.